how many times do you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck and you just don't have enough money to even put away for savings, right? That can get very frustrating. That can get very overwhelming. That can get very taxing. But I want to assure you that you are not alone. I'm Lonzie Green, affectionately known as Mr. Flip Your 401k. I help people build holistic financial strategies using their retirement plan, their cash value life insurance to pay off debt, become investors, get paid for life, and retire comfortably. Welcome to From 401k to Freedom. Sup world, hey, it's Lonzie Green, affectionately known as Mr. Flip Your 401k, and welcome to this latest episode of From 401k to Freedom. Hey, just to remind you, From 401k to Freedom, what is that exactly? It is about you as an employee, right? Being able to do the things that you need to do while you're in this workspace in order to achieve freedom. And freedom looks different to different people. For some, it means exiting the corporate structure and living their life the way that they choose to. And then for others, it's about a balance. It's about a balance of being an employee and maybe an entrepreneur. Or for some, it's just about being an employee, but being able to manage their money in a way that they can really truly live out their lives in the way that they see fit. So that's what From 401k to Freedom is all about. Now, we're going to talk about this week, repurposing money. So how many times do you feel like, you're living paycheck to paycheck and, you just don't have enough money to even put away for savings, right? That can get very frustrating. That can get very overwhelming. That can get very taxing. But I want to assure you that you are not alone. And I want to give you some hope by saying there's just a simple couple of steps or some tweaks that you can make in order to really change that narrative. So I want to get into that today. Now that we have found the money, what can we do to repurpose the money? So let's get to it. We all know what that feels like, right? And what is that, that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the missed opportunities, right? And what do I mean by the missed opportunities? I'm talking about that extra money that you're paying towards things that you really don't want to pay, but need to pay. Maybe it's that car loan. Maybe it's that credit card bill, right? Maybe it's that student loan bill. Whatever the case may be, missed opportunities. And I call them missed opportunities because each and every time you're taking that money to pay those things, that money could be going somewhere else to be able to create other opportunities for you, right? So we want to talk about what are some things that you can do, because we may think that we may not have any opportunities because of all of the debt or because of all of the bills that we have that's been accumulating for us. But that answer to what we're missing could be hiding in plain sight. So let's talk about what we need to do once we find our money and how we can repurpose it in order for it to grow for us. So for me, as far as repurposing money, right, there was this circumstance, a situation for me where, man, I would always use my checking and savings account in order to pay off my bills, right? So whether it was my car loan is like, a few $100s. I was using that to pay off my bills. I also use credit to pay for my monthly expenses like my groceries, my other utility bills, things of that nature. And so what I would do is I would take the money that I accumulated in checking and savings, and I would pay off my bills that way. But on occasion, things come up. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so there were some things that came up that broke for me the monotony of me being able to pay my credit card bills off every month. And so I did have savings, but I started looking into my savings and started to look to see how much money I was actually getting on my savings. And what I noticed was that I was getting a little bit of nothing. You know what I mean? So I said, like, okay, well, how much is my savings actually paying me? And I noticed that it was only paying me 0.0001%. So now I'm thinking, okay, not only am I paying off this debt, I'm missing opportunities, but the money that I'm using to pay off the debt is not growing for me. It's not working for me at all either. And so that's what led me into cash value insurance. And so what I started to do was I started to take the income that I was making, that I was using to pay off my debt, and I started repurposing it and putting it into cash value insurance. Because what I started to do is use that vehicle in order to start paying off my debt. And I'll talk to you in later episodes why I did that instead of just paying it directly from my checking and savings. So I keep harping on this, finding your money, right? So now that you have found your money, right, let's repurpose it. And what I mean by that is let's put it in vehicles where your money is continuing to grow and growing at a rate that even, I would say, is either equating to the rate of inflation or even more than that, right? But for debt purposes, here are some actionable steps that you can take once you find the money. The money that you found, the hundreds of dollars, or maybe if we can connect, we can find you at least $1,000 extra a month, right? Because I'm sure that there's some money hiding somewhere in your current financial situation. You take that extra money, right? And that can serve as your monthly premium into your cash value life insurance. For me, with paying off debt, I use specifically whole life insurance, and I'm going to get into reasons why I do that as opposed to a index universal life. Whole life is kind of more for short-term type of plays. It gives you flexibility early, liquidity early than IULs, but again, I'll get into that in more detail. But we move that money, and that becomes your monthly premium, right? And so you can build up your cash value, and your cash value can grow at a rate of interest that's more than your checking or savings account. And then ultimately, we'll talk about how you can leverage your cash value insurance to pay off debt, to where you're not only paying off the debt, but you're also building wealth at the same time. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds good to me. So I'm looking forward to getting more in detail on that on later episodes. In closing, repurposing your money is not just a financial strategy. It's a mindset shift. It's always constantly saying to yourself, where can I house my money that I can get the most maximum momentum and growth, right? So if you want to learn more about how you can use your money, repurpose it, place it into cash value insurance, and use cash value insurance to pay off your debt without having to come out of pocket on interest and still have your money grow for you, click the link and get my book, The Value of Cash Value, right? Or you can always schedule a call with me, and the link is there as well. I'll be looking forward to chatting with you. I love to chat with you. But until next time, y'all take care, be smooth.